Hello everybody, and welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning October 30th, 2017. This week I will be using the Everyday Witch Tarot deck by Deborah Blake, and the artwork is by Elizabeth Alba. So you might be wondering why I'm dressed like this. It is Halloween week, so happy Halloween to all of you. I hope that you had a great weekend, and I hope that this Halloween is a magical time for you. I'm dressed up as a unicorn because unicorns are magical and awesome, and why not? So here we are. How was last week? For me, last week was super interesting. I think I had a lot of really big stuff that was unhealed coming back in, and I feel like my emotional body kind of stepped out of my whole being, and I was just kind of left with my mental and spiritual side. So it's like somebody kind of made me, like, turned off the humanity switch in me, or I became very numb. So that was a very interesting experience. So if you had anything similar happen, or you're still kind of dealing with that, it's all good. It just means that you're going through something that's kind of traumatic, and your body is just not able to process it. So your emotions kind of step out of it, so the rest of you can process through it without all of the additional trauma causing you to spin out a little bit. So my humanity is coming back on a little bit. So I'm feeling more and more like myself every day, which is really, really good. But it was very strange. I haven't felt like that in a very long time. So it's interesting. So I'm very curious to know how your week was. Please let me know how it was. You can comment below or send me a direct message. I would love to hear from you. So tuning into this week, it's like phase 3. It's a lot of processing of all of the stuff that came up last week. So you might just be feeling a certain type of way last week without too much guidance, or not really sure what was going on. It feels like this week we're going to actually realize it and process it on a physical or on a mental level. We're going to kind of integrate it into our awareness. So if you are feeling numb or particularly emotional, or however you're feeling, you can start to process all of that stuff, and hopefully it will start to ease up a little bit. So Scorpio, we are in the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is an emotional sign because its element is water, and water traditionally represents the emotions. So if you are feeling particularly emotional right now, it's all part of the experience. It's all part of the universal energies that are coming in, and it's just time for a lot of work to get done. So be gentle with yourself as always, take time for rest and all of that stuff. Feel the emotions that are coming up, don't bury them. And you don't really have to go looking for anything. It's just gonna all kind of pop up, and you just kind of have to sit and feel it. And if it's feeling really intense, you can just ask the angels to maybe ease it up a little bit. Don't try to rush through it or bury it or anything like that, but just kind of make time for yourself to nurture yourself in whatever way you need, whether it's sleeping a ton or just sitting in meditation or anything that you need. You need to go to a movie, go to a movie. You need to eat junk food, that's totally fine. We need to be supporting our physical bodies as much as possible. So if you can avoid it, try to eat less candy and more of the healthy stuff. But also, indulgence is a kind of a part of self-love. So don't be too serious about all of this stuff this week. Try to have fun with it. And so if you are experiencing anything interesting this week, you'll kind of start to understand it a little bit, and hopefully it'll start to ease up so you can feel more like yourself again. There is a full moon on Saturday. I'm kind of getting the message that it might. They're not even sticking to a definitive answer with this, but it might ease up. Things might get better. Things might become a little less intense. So do what you can. Really, if you are able to have a full moon ceremony on Saturday of And that can be however you want. Just kind of tune into yourself, or you can even give it a Google and see if there are any ceremonies that anybody has ever written about that kind of appeals to you in any sort of way. Feel free to do those. It's great to celebrate the full moon because it shows the energies of the moon, that you're willing to work with it instead of pushing against it. So by embracing the moon, by bringing the moon into your body, you're able to utilize its energies for what it's there for, which is letting go. It brings lights to the shadow because it is a full moon. It illuminates. So being open to all of that which you need to release or work on or acknowledge, and just be willing to let it go if it needs to go, and try not to hold on to it, because something better will be coming. And ceremony can be with yourself or with someone else. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a huge group of people. It can just be yourself and you calling in your angels or your spirit animals or whatever you want to do. And just even as simple as writing a list down of all of the things that you wish to let go, or all of the things that you want to know more about yourself, and that you're hoping that the full moon can bring awareness to that aspect. Okay, so we will get started with the card reading. Okay, so we're going to pull 4 cards. One for the general theme of the week. One for Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so they're bringing this up as well. So yeah, Halloween can be a scary time. And that's typically just because, you know, things are dying outside. So it's a bit less beautiful. But it's also traditionally a time of the veils thinning between the worlds. So this is often where if you feel kind of a creepy vibe, you could feel like something is watching you, or people like to go to haunted houses, which brings up a lot of fear energy running around. And also people tend to see ghosts or spirits or guides or whatever more. So if that is something that you are interested in, going into haunted houses or anything like that, or you know, dabbling into any of the spooky Halloween stuff, I definitely would suggest that you have some protection, like shield yourself, and ask your angels to come in there with you, just so you're not picking up anything extra that you don't need to be taking around with you, whether it's just other people's fear or whatever. Just ask them to clear you out after, like smudge yourself after you experience or have those kinds of experiences. And if you do find yourself seeing more or feeling creepy or anything you're not comfortable with, you can always ask your angels to come in and protect you from anything that is not love and light, so that you don't have to worry about that. And then just know if you do see anything or feel anything or experience anything weird, try not to be scared. It's all good. Just listen to your guidance. You know, you don't have to stay in a situation if it makes you feel uncomfortable or creeped out. But just not allowing the fear to kind of overtake you this week, as tempting as it might be. There's already enough fear in the world. So if you can try to spin Halloween in a fun way, if you want to take this time to communicate with your dearly departed loved ones, making sure that you're doing that in a safe way. If you want to take this opportunity to get to know your angels a little better, you might actually be able to hear them a lot better or see them or whatever. So definitely you can use this time to your light advantage instead of just embarking on all of the spooky, scary stuff, because it doesn't have to be scary. And kind of what you put into it is what you get out. So if you are freaked out, like if you're convinced that there's a ghost in your house or whatever, try not to feed into that fear. Ask the angels for help. Ask the angels to clear it out, or, you know, to ask the ghost to leave or whatever it is. Try not to put too much into it. It is an energy imprint. It's not a living person. So, yeah, I don't really know. There's so much I could say about this topic, but just be mindful of your intentions with everything that you're doing. And what you put in is what you get out. Okay, so the theme of the week, we have Ace of Wands. So here we go. I absolutely love these cards. So Wands is traditionally the passionate suit when we're talking about tarot. And so Ace is also the beginning of a journey. So as we can see here, they're bringing kind of me back to this whole idea of a ceremony. So this kind of at the top is reminding me of a moon. It's not a moon in the photo, but that's kind of what it is. So this is you here and your little critter, whether it's your spirit animal or your actual critter, having a ceremony. So she's having her own ceremony. She's putting her intentions into the fire, and out comes all of these things. Out comes the passions, out comes the gifts, and kind of her guidance and her direction. So often when we make lists and we want to release things up to the moon, we write a list of all the things we want to let go of and we burn it to set it free and to kind of transmute the energy. So that's kind of what she's doing here. She's putting her intention of embarking on a passionate voyage into the fire, releasing it up, and out comes these amazing images of, this is your passion, these are your skills, this is what makes you happy, this is what you should do. So this week with the full moon, hold the intention of releasing all of that which is preventing you or keeping you away from doing things that make you passionate. Like, say you've been meaning to take an art class and your life is just way too hectic, there's too much going on, you don't have time. Is there anything in your life that you could perhaps move or postpone, or maybe outsource it? Like maybe get a house cleaner if that's something that you are able to afford. Get somebody to come and clean your house so that you freeze up some of your time during the week so you can actually go do something that you're passionate about or spend time painting or whatever it is. So here she can see, art. This is you. This is what you need to be spending your time on. And she's opening her arms to it and welcoming it in. So by, throwing it into the fire, we can get rid of the stuff that's preventing us from living our truest potential. And out is rebirth, much like a phoenix. These new activities, these new spiritual aspects, these new beautiful pieces of yourself that you can and you should make space for in your life. So even if it's as simple as like a metaphorical fire, you don't even need to have a physical fire. Writing a list and just intending that, it, in your mind's eye, see it burn up into a rainbow flame or a violet flame or something like that, and transmuting it into love or transmuting it into success or whatever it is that you want from that. Okay, so then the beginning of the week, we have the sun. So this is promising. So far, this seems like a nice week. I really hope it's less intense than in the last few weeks. Oh, the last few weeks were horrible. Okay, it's all good. It's all part of the experience. So we have the sun. So the sun is a great card in tarot. It's a major arcana card, which means that it's universal energies. It's also something we don't have a whole lot of control over, which is kind of good in this case. This means that the sun, the beautiful light, will come to us without us doing anything at all. So being open to the light, releasing all of this stuff that doesn't serve you so that all of this can be born and that you can just party in the sun with your friends. So as we can see, she is with child. And so that doesn't have to really mean physical birth. It can mean the birth of a new project, nurturing a new project, nurturing a new relationship, anything like that. So these women are dancing around in a circle under the sun. So if you have the opportunity at the beginning of the week to get together with some friends and just have some fun, definitely do that. I think that will be really great for your soul. If you have any sort of community or anything like that, like a nice yoga class, or if you're a hockey player, go hang out with like-minded people, go play a game of hockey, whatever it is that makes you happy, and dance around with them in the sun. That's all for that one. That's great. Just simply a great Monday, Tuesday, which is good because it's Halloween on Tuesday. Enjoy looking at all of the cute little kids in their cute little costumes and eating candy and watching great movies like Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus. Love it. Sorry, I'm just going to take a swig of water here. Okay. Great. So now we have 3 of Wands in the middle of the week. So this here, we have 2 cards so far in the same suit. So the theme of the week is Ace of Wands, which is the beginning of a journey. The Three of Wands is kind of making our way down into making our way kind of through the journey. Okay, so this card, what I'm feeling from this card for this reading is, you know, you've been given the wand, as we have in the Ace. We were given this beautiful gift, and we've now learned how to use it because we've released all of the stuff that's been holding us back and all of the stuff that has been preventing us from doing what we need to do and doing what we actually want to do and fulfilling our destiny. So she's here. She's learned how to use her wand. She's standing on a cliff and she is sending out the light in return. So this is almost like an epic, a feeling of conquering and pride and overcoming. The story I'm getting from this card right now is that, you know, she went through a war, a conflict of some kind. She overcame a ton of obstacles and she came out on top. And it's kind of just like, let all of this beautiful light rain down on everybody, because I have beaten it. I have overcome it. I have gotten through something horrific in my own self. And, you know, I've been able to masterfully use my wand. This is also about putting intention out there. So again, what you put in is what you get out. So she's almost, I'm feeling like she's making a wish when she's sending out this light. Like maybe there is a war going on underneath her still that she was able to get out of, and she's making a wish that this war will end below her. And that's all for that card. It's a pretty cut to the chase kind of reading. Okay, so we have 6 of Cups here. And so Cups is an emotional card for the weekend. It's all good. So if you do have a particularly emotional weekend, it's all good. Nurture yourself in however you want to. Open your arms to receiving help, gifts of love, anything like that from other people. If you have a hard time receiving, try to practice receiving without resisting, which I know is kind of hard for most of us. Have pride in your work. So anything that you're doing, whether you're ashamed, whether you're kind of nervous about what you're doing, or you're feeling like you're not good at it or something, you're just being really hard on yourself. So whatever it is that comes up on the weekend, if you have time to work on your project, or maybe you're making a piece of art and you're having a hard time finishing it, or having a hard time actually trying to get yourself to release it and actually say, okay, this is finished. Have compassion for yourself. See yourself as this cat. So like this cat is looking with such love, and it's almost like a motherly admiration for this pair here. So see your eyes, be like this cat, but looking at yourself. So have love and admiration for yourself, appreciation for your work, and release it. So if you have something that you've been holding on to and you haven't completed yet because you think it's not good enough, let it go. It's good enough. It's time. I heard this, was it 80% is good enough? For those perfectionists out there, if it's 80% good, then it's done. 100% is just keeps going further and further and further when you're trying to perfect something, right? So if it's 80% perfect, then it's good, then it's done. So kind of having that rule with you this weekend and letting go. And if you are feeling anxious about, releasing something to the world or publishing something, why? What is it? Go into that emotion. Really work on that. Is this mine? Is this fear? Is this regret? Is this fear? Really? It's fear. So go into that fear and find out where it came from, and then maybe you can heal it this week. Anything else? If you're a bath person, have a really nice, long, luxurious bath. Put some nice essential oils in there, use some salt, light some candles, and just get cozy with yourself and relax. They're bringing my attention to this beautiful little pond here. So like make a little summer oasis within your tub. If you are having a hard time with the seasons changing, you can bring flowers, even if it's fake flowers. Bring flowers and just spread them all around the room. It'll be a really nice healing thing for you to do for yourself on the weekend. Salt tubs especially just kind of help you to shed all of the extra stuff that's sitting on the surface, and kind of helps to release it all and can ground you into the earth. They're amazing. When I'm exhausted, I just crawl into the tub and I emerge a new person. It's amazing. So if water is your thing, definitely go for that this weekend and try to incorporate flowers. So even if you put rose petals in the bath, that's great. And if you see a bouquet of flowers that you like at the supermarket or whatever today, then definitely, this week, definitely partake in that, because that is an act of self-love. And that will help with that love for yourself and that confidence for yourself. You can even be like, here, these are for you because of this beautiful piece of artwork that you made. And you're like, oh, thank you so much. Like, let's go and release this together. And so if you need someone to help you, hit that publish button or whatever it is on a project, or maybe it's like a tough conversation you need to have with someone or something like that, ask a friend to help you. Ask an angel to come in and hold your hand and to guide your words and help you through that kind of thing. And is that it? Okay, that's all. I hope that you have a fantastic week, and I hope that you have a wonderful Halloween and full moon and what a busy week, and release everything that's holding you back from spending time in your passions. Your passions are so important for your mental health, for your spiritual health, and not to mention it's a great way to release stress and to kind of escape for a little while and just reconnect with yourself. So I really hope that you are able to let some stuff go this week that's stopping you. And I hope that you have fun times with your friends, running around in circles and dancing in your bare feet. That would be amazing. So if you would like a private reading with me, you can email me at thejourneytospirit@gmail.com. And you can come and visit me anytime at katiehunt.ca. I'll put all that info below. I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.